Clark coming off a massive performance. We're looking for their second win of the season, their first at home. They've been really close this year. They've led in 4 of their last 5 games in the second half.
Well, in 4 of their last 5 games, it's been 1 or 2 possession games. So closing out games, finishing without game slippage will be important for Indiana here, especially when they're going to have to play a little bit smaller. Elbow and a beautiful pull-up jump shot. I mean, she's already leading the league in field goal percentage, making a good play.
As Mitchell just blows by her former teammate.
And it's not just moving, it's being smart about the switches, too.
Well, Mitchell has a 3-ball rim out. Offensive rebound, Boston blocked from behind. That's a Gumake into the hands of Smith, who couldn't get it to go. Indiana had a couple really good looks there. This feels like when you're struggling offensively, that ball is popping out a lot. And it's staying down for Jewel Lloyd. And Smith misses on the bank shot as the pace starts to pick up here from Indy. The hesitation, Clark gets to the rim.
And you force a Seattle timeout. She knows exactly where she needs to be, what she needs to work on. She's already thinking about the offseason, just in terms of the strength and muscle and weight she needs to put on. And she's a big fan of the Crustable pregame, Pat. You gotta love the Crustable peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, look at Nalissa Smith running the floor. And it's been the Nalissa Smith show here in the first quarter. And just not getting that 3-ball to fall down at the level that they would like here in the early going. Continuing to generate good looks. Lloyd just pushes over Caitlin Clark and knocks it down.
See, this is the small lineup I'm talking about with Katie Lou Samuelson at the 4.
Clark bounce pass it, Smith again. Nalissa Smith averaging 9 points per game here this season. She's got 10 in the first quarter as Lloyd weaves through traffic and hits the fadeaway.
Look at her running ahead of the ball right here.
Clark sees 2, gets it to Smith. Extra pass, Mitchell will launch and bury a 3. Clark over Horston, hits a 3.
Nobody's made more threes in the W than Caitlin Clark, but also Indiana's played the most games.
Diggins Smith on the other end with an answer. D and Gainbridge down there might be worn out by the end of the year. She's hit a couple shots from the Gainbridge Fieldhouse logo. Here's Clark on the drive and the finish. A sizzling start here in the second quarter. Bad pass there, though. Horston comes up with the steal. Outlet to Diggins Smith, who puts on the brakes, hangs and finishes.
So when Caitlin goes off the ball, typically she comes off a stagger on the weak side, but she comes off a pin down here, wide open. Bang!
Seattle still shooting 56% from the field. Indiana's defense has tightened their grasp a little until right there. Diggins Smith easy to the rim. Boston the offensive rebound. She'll bounce for Clark. This time it's Mitchell on the attack. Gets inside and finishes.
And Caitlin Clark keeps her dribble alive. Well, you can feel the energy picking up in this building, can't you?
Lloyd, that's a deep 2. It won't fall. Diggins Smith is open and hits a 3.
I'm telling you, Skylar Diggins. I mean, they have done a really good job of staying out of foul trouble and playing with discipline.
Boston extra pass. Here's Smith on the drive, on the spin, floats it up, gets it to go. They're starting to execute here in the half-court sets. But can they defensively? Agumake, another bucket. Mitchell working on Vivians. The switch off to Magbagor. She had Smith down there for a moment. Dangerous cross-court pass. Berger able to rescue and get the bounce.
That's Grace Berger in the mid-range.
Mitchell space on the right side of the floor there if she wants to take advantage. Instead, it's cross-court to Smith. That's a contested 3. But it's all fallen for Nalissa Smith in the first half. Clark gets by Vivians. Denial. Magbagor at the rim. Stepped on the baseline. Game high 15 points as Clark up there for Boston, who couldn't handle it. Just a bit too hot there from Caitlin Clark. Here's Vivians on the run. Back at her former teammate Mitchell. And Vivians gets it to go. Beaver had pulled back within 4 on a little 5-0 burst. Clark gets by Mule and lays it in.
Really good execution. Caitlin patient.
Final 3 seconds of the half. Jewell Loyd on an outlet pass off balance. Gets it to go. It's a 16-point first half for Jewell Loyd. Clark back for Boston, but misses her. Puts it too far ahead of Aaliyah. And there's Agumake in transition, nobody near her. Smith right to Magbagor, who had it rim out. Magbagor battling through Boston. It's an and one. And it's a 14-2 run dating back to the final seconds of the second quarter for Seattle. Boston deep position and gets it to go. Got the switch on to Jewell Loyd. Boston won't miss from there. Nicely back-to-back, offense, defense. Trying to come back. It's so tough against a team like this with bucket getters Jewell Loyd and Nneka Agumake. She's so crafty. There's Loyd off the screen, way off the mark. Clark looking to run. Outlet pass. Oh, it's Mitchell. An eagle-eye, Hawkeye vision from Caitlin Clark.
Way to sprint the weak side lane by Kelsey Mitchell.
Loyd feeds it inside. Extra pass. It's Russell. And what a find from Agumake.
Really good interior passing, but Indiana's got to stop letting the ball get into the paint. They've got to keep it out.
Clark, step back, hits a three.
There's so much technology now, I don't need my tape measure anymore. Pat, you keep rattling off how far the threes were.
And Loyd hits it on the other end. Wallace pulls up and connects. He was so good in that game last week. Whitcomb gets by Wallace. Extra pass into the corner. Seattle really moving the ball well. Whitcomb, the hesitation, gets inside. Maybe got away with an extra step.
But that might have been a travel.
And the Storm again out to the races. Diggins. Smith leaves it short, but there's Horston to clean up. How quickly this one has gotten out of hand here for Indiana. Berger with the left hand. A block and a foul. Samuelson will try it from the wing. Hit that one too.
Not bad, back to back.
This has been the story for the Fever tonight. A lot of Tuesday. They just haven't been able to string together stops when they've needed them. Diggins Smith driving on. Clark gets to the rim and finishes.
Thought it was really interesting to get her perspective on it.
Samuelson hit a couple threes in the third, and she's starting to heat up.
Well, turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter, were a concern for this team on Tuesday, and is something Caitlin Clark has specifically said needs to improve in her game.
Look ahead passes. Samuelson's had a lot of space beyond the perimeter, and she's knocked down 4 in a row.
There you go, Katie Lou Samuelson getting in rhythm. I told you I like that small lineup with her at the stretch 4. You kept waiting for her to get hot.
Agumake inside, and it's Magbagor. 3 in a row before this one, and the Storm team that rebuilt in the offseason, knocked away there by Agumake. Diggins Smith out to the races, and it's Whitcomb beating everybody back. Magbagor will launch and hit a 3.
That's the 10th turnover.
77 points per game offensively, so this is just fine from an offensive standpoint if Smith comes up with the block. But there haven't been enough moments like that on the defensive end. We'll be looking to make adjustments. It's 4 games in 6 days. Indiana falls to 1-8 here on the early season.